You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live. Hello and welcome back to episode 19, I believe, of the Claret and Blue podcast. We are here to talk about Aston Villa. Did you see that cup then? I'm just looking at that. It's got a mess,
oh,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, just like the podcast falling apart. Only two of us here. Matt Kendrick's had the day off. Well, he's working from home, he's not off. So we're here to talk about another defeat for Aston Villa. You were there.
I was there, unfortunately.
Bad time.
I felt sorry for the fans. I got the train back with them at the end because obviously there's no trains running from to Southampton, so it was a train to Winchester, get off, get a bus. And it was a long old day, so for the players to put out what they did.
At least they could have a drink.
Oh, true. Drink the pain away, but yeah, I just felt sorry for them because the players didn't put it in. To be fair,
no.
They didn't looked just out fought in every department. I mean, the second ball's nowhere to be seen, so very, very worrying signs. And everyone's seen and read the Dean Smith transcript afterwards.
Yeah,
he went to town on them, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that may have been bubbling up for some time now. Obviously, they did perform brilliantly against Tottenham, but just consistency. It's just on the road.
Yeah.
10 defeats out of 14 now. So 10 losses out of 14 games. It's relegation form, isn't it?
We're not even nicking the odd draw here and there, are we, to boost the total a bit. It's win or bust, and more often bust than not.
Of course it is, especially on the road. In the last podcast I said, come on then, let's have a reaction, because I was down at Bournemouth. And the first 45 there was shocking, to be fair. So I thought Southampton, poor home side, worst home side in the division prior to that one.
Up step Aston Villa, easy win.
Up step Villa, and nice easy day out for them. So
really annoying.
Disappointing. And it's a funny old week now, isn't it? Because we're gearing up for a cup final. Everyone should be buzzing.
She said at the end of the last podcast, next podcast we'll be talking about beating Southampton, and then
I was positive all
for a cup
in all
final.
the lead up. To be fair, I fancy us at Southampton, and for us to not show up,
it's poor.
Okay, if we're 12th or 13th, if we're safe and whatnot, you can forgive a couple of performances like that, perhaps. But especially with the final next week. But when we're down the bottom, points matter. You're running out of games now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
11 games to go. It's up to them to save the season.
Where do you think this comes from, this lack of consistency? Because you play against Tottenham, because we're talking about the winter break, as in, maybe I've seen a few people say maybe that was a mistake to go away and things like that. Fair enough. But against Tottenham, we looked fresh, we looked energetic, we looked almost excitable to impress. Then you play well and you lose, and the stuffing gets knocked out. Yeah, fair enough. But then you don't go and even turn up from minute one against Southampton. That's the frustrating thing. Like you said, if players are better than you and you lose, like Tottenham, you kind of have to hold your hands up and say, frustrating, but that's football. To go there and look like you're not even trying, that's what I can't stand.
It's just at home, Villa Park, the crowd are behind them, aren't they? They got one up.
The away fans are good though.
The away fans are good, but the home fans. How to describe it? The home fans, the Southampton fans on Saturday were well up for it. The players were well up for it.
Yeah.
And Villa wilted. They've done it time and time again on the road. At Villa Park, it's a different story. I can't remember Villa getting outclassed too many times at Villa Park.
No, that's true.
But it's just, I think,
still
on the road.
Up the points at home either.
Yeah. Well, on the road, I think they're just a bit flaky.
Yeah.
They're a bit lack that bit of fight and bite in the middle. Just
that's worrying though.
Just put one in on a player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Try and get the lads going. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, we'll explain in a bit, but we've had Tony Daly this morning doing some video stuff, and he was able to find some positives, wasn't he, amongst the dark times. And I want to try and do that in this podcast, but this is very much going to be, we've had a lot of questions with a lot of negative opinions, because that's the feeling at the moment. And like you said, the cup final coming up this weekend feels weird, it feels out of place, it feels like a different season, doesn't it, that we've got to go there and have a good time, and we all we'll enjoy it as best we can, considering the opposition. But the league is the priority, isn't it? You kind of talk about the cup being a distraction and stuff like that, and it's a nice distraction and it's a nice kind of thing to look ahead to. But I'm itching for the next Premier League game now to try and put it right, and that's Leicester, and then it's Chelsea, and it's like we're running out of games to get these points now. And some people would say maybe I'm silly for it, but for the first time I'm very, very concerned about relegation.
Well, you've got to be based on that performance.
I kind of thought before, we'll still be right at some point, but now I'm kind of thinking we are running out of time here. It's
becoming just a 2 or 3 between us and West Ham at the moment, isn't it? Obviously, Norwich keep getting beat. Watford got beat again, so it could come down to the last hours I've mentioned, but We'll see. It's up to the Villa players now. 11 games. Go and do it.
That's enough games. We still need the league table. I mean, somehow we're not in the bottom three. The position's not changed, has it? We're still 1 point out of it because the rest of the teams are so bad as well. So the situation hasn't changed. We're just one less game to get the points we need. 5 wins gets you to 37, is it? My maths is right, which is probably enough. We kind of said maybe you're pushing closer to 40 this year. I don't think you're going to need 40 because the teams in the bottom 3 or the bottom 4 or 5 are awful.
All to play for still, as you say.
The difference is, I think, when you look at us and West Ham look a club in free fall. The manager poor, the owners toxic, the fans getting on players' back, stuff like that. That's not really happening with Villa. Most people are still behind Dean Smith. Again, some people won't be, but most of us, or I am at least, am behind him still.
Yeah, of course.
The owners are positive, got money. We've got some good players, Grealish, Mings, people like that. There is still some element of positivity around Villa when you look, especially if you compare them directly to West Ham. But we're still only 1 point better off than them. Just because the way the club's set up, positive or toxic or whatever it is, doesn't mean that you get to stay up by you deserve it kind of thing. We've still got to get the points. The fact we've still got to play each other and it's last day, you kind of look ahead to that, don't you? And think, I think it might be decided then, but
just can't stand it. Need the characters to show up now. I've mentioned he's a new team still. As much as you want to say, they've gone through half the season now, but just that form on the road is very worrying from a new team. They look like strangers again on Saturday.
How does that happen after Tottenham?
I don't know.
Remember, we look good and we play some of our best football of the season to some of the worst in 7 days. I don't understand. That's the annoying thing. Like, I can forgive kind of a lack of talent or a lack of ability with players. Like you say, you come up against somebody like Tottenham or Man United or Arsenal, whoever, Man City on Sunday. An absolute class above in terms of the personnel on the pitch. But you go to somebody like Southampton who are struggling at home, Bournemouth away. Some of the games we've had where we've just been awful. I can't excuse that anymore.
It's not so much they haven't got many stars there, quality, world class players. They've got Grealish, of course, Mings. But just put that little bit of effort in. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit laboured. He was so laboured on Saturday.
Yeah. Could you tell that from the off?
Target had a throw in. Douglas Luiz showed for it. He just casually on his weaker foot outside the boots, it went out for a throw in. Just stuff like that. He apologised to Dean Smith on the touchline, but I thought Dean Smith was right to dig him out. I thought he's overprotective of the players in games gone by, and Dean Smith actually he's had an effect on me for making me feel a bit more positive.
Really?
He has, yeah. He turned me around to say as if defeats have gone by. Sheffield United, I said that's poor. He goes, listen, they've been playing together for 3 years. I went, fair cop. In other away games, I've questioned it, and he's actually said, listen, one chance, it's fine margins. But now I think he laid it on thick, didn't he? And it's about time. The
comments. I'm not ignoring you.
But I think he just let himself out, let it all out there.
Frustration, ultimately, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, I remember when he was appointed and we kind of all said the Villa fan element isn't important. He's got the job on merit, but it's still a factor. And it's got to the point now where, as a Villa fan, he's going to be frustrated.
He's not happy.
Because I think we said it once about Jack Grealish, about as fans, we get frustrated. We're two frustrated fans. We're going to sit here and try and claw some kind of positivity for the next half an hour. But ultimately, I'm annoyed with what's happening with the club. Of course, I am, like everybody else.
The most worrying thing now is will he get a response from the players?
That's the thing. Like,
will the turn?
Smith and Grealish as Villa fans, they can make a difference.
But on Saturday,
it
looked as like the players weren't playing for him.
Yeah,
basically,
that's bad.
And that's starting to that'd make you worry, wouldn't it?
You've got 11 games left of the Premier League, and it looks like players are kind of giving up a little bit. Which, what can you do? We can't sign any more players.
They're crossing that white line. Dean's preparing him as best he can.
Yeah.
He's a Villa man. He wants the best for the club, and they're going out there and they're putting in a performance like that and letting Southampton get on top. So, listen, I've seen Hurahan had that spat with the fan at the end, and he went on Twitter, didn't he? It's fair play. You've got to stick together. The only way to get out of this. But
part of that, again, I didn't see the game. Was he the only one that went up to the fans?
I didn't. I was following my report, so I didn't see.
I'm not going to sit here and say he was or he wasn't them, because we don't know. I kind of feel like I know he's part of a collective squad, but he's not really even played.
No.
So to give abuse to people that aren't playing, I mean, he shouldn't be abusing anybody, to be honest, but it's kind of like...
He wasn't. He was just saying, listen, we're all hurting here. don't dig us out too much. We're all hurting as much as you are, and we've got to stick together. It's the only way out of it, which is a fair point. But they've got to go and prove it now and show it.
Yeah,
it's all good saying it, isn't it?
One of Dean Smith's comments that I found, he said that there's too many training ground players.
Yeah, he read the right act, didn't he?
I don't know what what do you think of the comments? Not the specific language of what he said. What do you think about him digging players out? Good or bad?
It all depends on how they react to that. It might have been just the sheer of the moment thing. He's fuming, and he's had a week. He's had Sunday off. He's back in Monday thinking, right, shouldn't have said that. I've got to get my arm around these players now. I'm going to need them as much as they need me. So we spoke to Tony Daly, didn't they? Because the 94 side, they went on 3 defeats on the spin, and Ron Atkinson, he had a right go at them. But in that week leading up to the final, he let the foot off the gas. Training was relaxed, and he told him just go out and enjoy yourself. So I don't know which way it'll go. They'll have the team meeting this morning on the Monday. He said someone will be carrying behind the seats, so he's going to pick a few out, isn't he? It all depends how they react to that.
It's just different, isn't it? Because you can't make any snap judgments off it, because you're talking about 30 or 24, however many a squad is, human beings. Everyone reacts differently to that. Some people are going to go, you know what, I'm going to show you, Gaffer.
That's what you want.
I'm going to put it in. But some people are going to go, well, forget it then. I'm giving up now then, because I've been publicly digged out. Not personally, but some people will go, well, I'm trying my best. I've had enough now.
We'll soon see.
It goes both ways, doesn't it? But you've got 11 massive games coming up in the Premier League now.
The shows.
Yeah, exactly. But some players now might be thinking, oh, you know what, forget it. I'm not interested. And that's a forget what the players think. That's a worry for Aston Villa Football Club and the fan base, because if they start going, forget it, we're going down.
Of course.
So I don't know. I kind of like the comments that we've said about us being too nice and stuff. There was no more kind of Mr. Nice guy after the game there. There was a game a couple of weeks ago where Smith came out and he said a few things where I kind of thought, have you seen the same game there? Like, we've always praised Smith for his honesty and thought he's always been honest with us, and we've all seen the same game. Yeah. And again, I don't know which one it was, but he came out and was like, I feel like you're making excuses now that you've kind of praised up the game there when we've played poorly. Whereas against Southampton, he's come out, told it how he is, which is fair enough. I like that. But if that upsets the players, the player power in the game now is massive, and if they kind of throw their toys out the pram, Villa are going down. So it works both ways. It feels almost very kind of Mourinho-esque to come out and have a press conference like that. That it kind of, we're all talking about Dean Smith's post-match now and not the game. Yeah. Whether in private, he's kind of said, look, you've all been terrible, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take the brunt and kind of take the pressure off you a bit. We don't know. I would say that would be smart management to say, I'll take the pressure off you.
I asked him directly. I said, have the players let you down there? And he did. Yeah, but he said, listen, I'm as much as to blame, but they've let themselves down, they let me down, they let the club down. So we'll see.
It's difficult, isn't it? 'Cause I'd like to think maybe in private he's been maybe less harsh, or kind of said, I still believe in you, but I've got to go out there and I've got to slate you.
He ain't burn no bridges.
No.
I mean, they're all together, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they've got to be, haven't they?
So
we have to stick with them as fans as well. There's no point kind of berating the players because they've had a bad game, because it's going to happen. But frankly, the players aren't good enough, are they? We all thought we've signed all these players and we don't know anything about them, or
big ass, wasn't it?
We don't know how they're going to gel. Ultimately, we're down where we expected to be. We were never going to finish top 10, top 6 straight away. Obviously not. We're kind of seeing as the weeks go by that these players just aren't up to standard, are they? Which is a shame, but I think Tony Daly said this morning, we keep talking about it, we've got a few bonus clips of Tony Daly to come at some point for the Wembley build-up as context. He said signing 10, 12 million players in the Premier League in 2020 isn't a lot of money anymore.
No, we said that.
We had to spend that money to build a squad, so they weren't all going to be
straight to them now, ultimately.
Because that doesn't happen. So they've got 11 games to save Aston Villa from relegation, and it can be done.
Of course it can.
We need 4 or 5 wins, and there's a few winnable games, but as each week goes by, it gets harder.
They've been too nice all year, all season, haven't they?
Yeah.
Look at the points they've thrown away. Time to be a bit nasty now.
That's what Smith's doing. If he's leading by example, but let's have a bit of bite about us now.
That's what it's come to.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. It really is so frustrating.
From 1 week, one extreme to the other.
When you think you're making some kind of progress, and then it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And we said if we lose to Southampton, and the odds suggest we're going to go to Wembley on Sunday and get battered, is that going to halt confidence any further? I mean, to be fair, the confidence is on the floor anyway, isn't it? After Southampton, Man City's not going to really make a difference, is it, to be honest? Oh, Ash, I'm annoyed.
That's all right.
I don't know how you stomach it being there. I've only watched the highlights and that's done my head in. What do you think about the goals, specifically?
The goals?
The first goal.
Scored with his...
Yeah. Good self-censoring. I like that. Yeah.
Good that was. Just far too easy. He's ghosting off. I think Courtney Horse let him go.
There's a little deflection as well, isn't there? That the ball falls to their winger. It's like, oh, that was annoying. And then Courtney Horse is level with his goal side of his man and just walks past him and long goes goal side. Again, poor. Yeah. Really poor.
Soft got 8 minutes it was after.
Yeah.
You don't need that away from home, do you?
Shane Long always scores.
Well, yeah. It's his 10th goal against Villa. He's not very prolific.
In 13 or something like that, is it? Yeah, silly.
But that was the first one. I mean, hit the post before that. Just the way they come out the blocks. I thought they'd start quick and quite make the home fans quiet. Just shut the home fans up. In the second half, I think it was just about a matter of time before the score. Could have been 2, 3, 4.
Was it 20 something shots on target?
24 shots on goal. Just like peppering the goal.
Shots, and then it was 10 on target, wasn't it, or something like that?
But, I mean,
terrible.
I mean, the last one summed up, didn't it? It's embarrassing.
The second goal? Yeah. What do you think of that? Because I've seen a few people kind of slate the second goal, whereas I'm not that bothered about it.
What, the principle of sending the keeper up?
He goes up because it's the last kick of the game. If that ball is cleared out for a throw-in or something, the whistle goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you send the keeper up. I mean, they showed it on Match of the Day. They kind of said Peperina should have been on the edge of the box making a run in. And he stood on their goal line. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know if he's going to do anything by doing that, but he's an experienced player. He must be thinking that I'll disrupt their keeper or something. The corner comes to nothing, obviously, and they break away and tap into an empty net. Peperina is jogging back because he's 40 or whatever he is. He ain't getting back, is he? It's 1-0, we're about to lose. He can't do anything. Gilbert tries his best to get back, but he kind of, and the audio listeners are going to get nothing out of this because I'm going to have to use my fingers. The goal is up here, and the player is running down the right-hand side, and Gilbert goes for the goal, whereas I feel like he probably should have gone for the man instead, and somebody else should have gone to the goal. But yeah, you either lose 1-0 or 2-0. Like, does it really matter?
How many goalkeepers scored there? Schmeichel scored, didn't they?
I know.
For Villa,
it's just an extra man in the box, I suppose, isn't it? But the whistle was about to go and we were going to lose 1-0. We've lost 2-0 to an embarrassing goal, but I don't really care because we were going to
over anyway.
If it was 0-0, then somebody should be busting a gut to get back there. But I'm not massively bothered, to be honest. Goal difference by 1, maybe. If we go down by 1 goal, I'll be annoyed.
I don't believe you have to.
But we were about to lose anyway.
It shows signs of desperation.
We are desperate.
We are, yeah, but you shouldn't be.
Absolute scenes if Peperina scored, though.
That would have been, yeah. Imagine.
I understand why people are annoyed about it. Like, I'm not saying, give them a goal, but we were about to lose anyway. I'm not going to overanalyse a tapping into an empty net goal, to be honest.
Already have.
Yeah, true. Do you want to do some questions?
Yeah, go on.
Should we start with a fun one?
Yeah.
To lift the mood a bit?
Yeah.
This is from Regan Foy. I like Regan. He says, rank our coaching staff on who you'd most like or least likely to want to take down the pub.
I want to take Richard O'Kelly down the pub.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
I like Richard O'Kelly.
Yeah, he's a good laugh, crack.
Saturday afternoon, bag of pork crunch, put the races on and live scores on. A few John Smith who's Richard O'Kelly. I can see it now.
Nah.
I'd like to go. Yeah.
I'm not going to pick a least because I like them all.
Yeah.
I think they'd all be good together as a trio. O'Kelly, Smith, and John Terry.
Neil Cutler as well.
Neil Cutler, yeah, he'd be a laugh, I reckon. I'd quite like to go out with John Terry. I reckon some classy establishments.
He would, too posh for me, I think.
Yeah, he'd get you in places, wouldn't he? But I can't with John Terry.
Take you to some sushi bar or something.
Yeah, forget the pub, we'll go somewhere better.
Yeah.
With John Terry.
I like the Spit and Sawdust pubs, I like the cheap $1.99 a Carling one. Me and Richard O'Kelly
in a cheeky Wetherspoons or something.
Yeah, Wetherspoons all the way.
I'll go for
Shipyard.
I'll go for cocktails with John Terry or something in a VIP bar.
Go the square peg.
Okay, so someone's asking about Smith's comments. This is Tom Cowley.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about the comments, but he's saying, what do you think the reaction will be? Is it the kick that's needed, or does he risk losing the dressing room? I
think it's the kick that's needed. I think they'll come back now fighting because he's been too nice with them. And I think they need a rollicking up the backside, and I'm hoping they react to it and come good because they need to. What's the point of wilting and just saying, I'm jacking this? No chance. Look how hard they worked for the guys that were there last year to get up.
Yeah.
10-game winning run, which, by the way, didn't even happen this time last year. Yeah. It was next weekend, so...
That's the thing, kind of, people are saying, oh, that's it, we're done for now. It's like, until it's mathematical, I'm not sold yet, because we could go and win, as much as it's mental, we could go and win 3 or 4 in a row now and be safe.
We could, yeah.
When it's not going to happen.
Of course it's not.
In theory, it can happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting too down yet, because it could go down to the last day, we beat West Ham and stay up. So I'm not going to say, oh, that's it, March, we're relegated.
It's up to the players.
There's no point. I'm not going to get stupid about it. But I think there is a part
I don't want the fans to turn on him either.
I think they already are. There's some people that will want Smith to go now and say, look, get somebody else in, he's got 10 games to save us, bring in an Allardyce, bring in a Pulis or whatever, give him 10 games to save us.
The players
I'm saying I want Smith to stay. I'm talking about other people here.
I know, but what more can you do? You can talk tactics until the sun goes down, but at the end of the day...
He almost has.
I know it has, but the players ain't showing enough fight, they ain't making enough tackles, they're not getting stuck in.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Dean Smith...
They're not showing for the ball.
Yeah, that's not the manager's fault.
No.
Yeah.
I think
but it's one of those, if they like I said before, player power is massive. If they don't rate Dean Smith and his methods, they can fix the game. And I'll put that in massive air quotes, 'cause I'm not suggesting match fixing, by the way.
Yeah.
But they can think, I'm not going to put 100% in here, because if we don't and we lose, the manager will go and we'll get a change.
Nah, I can't see that happening. I think they're right behind him.
I hope they are. Yeah, we hope they are.
No, would you?
I'm not. Yeah,
based on Saturday.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're not going to sit here and suggest anything otherwise, because again, that would be silly. But I'm just talking football generally.
Yeah.
Remember the Chelsea situation with Conte and stuff like that? They clearly didn't like him. Lost a few games and he was out the door. And then suddenly people start playing better.
11 games to go.
I wouldn't get rid of Dean Smith.
No, of course not. No.
And that
I
is
don't think the owners will either.
No, I don't think.
Because they're back to with the new contract. The no contracts mean
Here's
nothing.
the question.
Go on.
Every podcast, someone asks, is it time to get rid of Dean Smith? And every podcast, you all sit there and say, that's ridiculous.
We just have.
My question is it time to get rid of Dean Smith? No, that's ridiculous, is my answer.
There you go.
I can see why people want to make a change. Of course, a kind of manager is not doing well. You expect that a new manager comes in and we'll have a bit of a bounce. We might win 1 or 2 and we'll suddenly find ourselves safe. I understand the logic there. But I think that beyond this season, Dean Smith is trying to build a project with Villa, and if that means going down and having to rebuild to come back stronger, I would prefer that than hoping for the best with a Sam Allardyce on a short-term 6-month contract, because there's no progression to that.
No, why?
We'll stay up this year and we'll earn the 100 million, whatever it is. Great.
He's been there 16
I want to see
months.
us build something better than that. Like you said, he's not been there that long in football terms.
Look what he's done. He's got us to where we are in a cup final Sunday at Wembley.
Yeah.
I know in the league we're not performing consistency, but look at that Tottenham performance. We've left too many points out on the field this year, which we need to learn from. But
yeah.
I think he's done an all right job with a new set of lads, new team,
completely
new team.
Some of them aren't that good.
Well, that's a question for another day.
In my opinion,
regarding recruitment.
Yeah.
How much has a say has Dean Smith had on the transfers?
Yeah. We don't know.
We don't know, do we? We'll probably never know.
No, probably not. Here's a question that's not on the list, but you just reminded me of. You mentioned a cup final. Hypothetical scenario.
Go on.
Win the League Cup and the FA Cup. I would like that. Win the League Cup but get relegated, or lose the League Cup and stay in the Premier League. You can pick one.
Okay.
Obviously, you want to win the League Cup and stay in the league, but that's not an option.
Choose one. I'll probably get lambasted for this, but I want to win a trophy.
Do you?
Yeah.
I disagree.
I want to win a trophy.
I want to win a trophy, but not at the expense of being relegated.
Because it'd be detrimental. Look at what Blues did.
Yeah. Of course, I want to win a trophy. I'm 24. I've only ever seen us win the playoff final. It's not even a proper trophy. It is, but I suppose
we were spoilt with that playoff final last year. We've seen all the ticker tape go up, and they've lifted a trophy of some sort.
Yeah, I absolutely want us to go on there Sunday and win. Of course, I do. But if you said if you win that, you're definitely getting relegated, I would say no, thank you.
I'll win the Carabao Cup.
Carling.
Because European football in the Championship.
European football in the Championship.
Grealish is going anyway, probably. But, no. Well, yeah, European football in the Championship. What's not to love?
European. Oh no, it isn't European, is it? I was going to say we're going to Wales in the Championship to play Cardiff.
But no, it would be detrimental to the club itself.
I think the progression in the club is better to stay in the Premier League this year with Dean Smith as manager, and we continue to build, and we can come to trophies in the future. Yeah, I don't know. I think people will be split on that. We'll put it's a little fancy thing on YouTube. Yeah. You can do a little poll. So we'll put a poll on the YouTube version. Would you rather win the trophy and get relegated, or lose the final against Man City, but you'll confirm to stay in the Premier League? That's the option.
As a fan, If I was a fan now, I'd want to win a cup. I would.
Yeah.
Beat Man City at Wembley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Massive.
Huge.
Great. It'd be amazing. First trophy that even we've seen. Really, you were alive for '96.
Yeah.
But you didn't remember it.
I was 5.
Yeah. So you were alive for '94 as well.
I was 3 for '94.
Yeah. So that don't really count. You've not even seen Villa win a trophy properly. So it'd be massive for us to see Villa win it. But I think if you said it would definitely mean you're going down, I'd say no. Okay. We'll see what people say.
Yeah.
Boise says, seriously, are we doing any tactical preparations before the games? It took us 60 minutes for us to make a change when it wasn't working. It took Ralph Hasenhüttl 10 minutes after that to shut us down again. He was ready for our changes.
Hasenhüttl, yeah. I ain't got in there.
5 minutes.
All right. What a guy Hasenhüttl is, by the way. Hasenhüttl.
Good manager. I do like him.
He dedicated like five paragraphs to Villa in the programme, which is unheard of for a manager. He was praising Dean Smith and how they've changed the system. But as you say, with that question there, Boise, I think it was the 65th minute, Villa registered the first shot on goal.
Yeah.
Well, not on goal, but first attempt. Over an hour.
Yeah, poor.
What's going on?
I think Southampton's was 20 at that point, which is an average of an attempt every 3 minutes.
I mean, the expected goals and the expected goals against and the shots against and chances being conceded, scary numbers.
Yeah.
And that needs to change. I think you'd say tactically, okay.
We've changed we were clamouring for this 3 at the back, weren't we, at Christmas? Yeah. We said we want to go 3 at the back.
Burnley.
This is what we want. We've changed it, and against Burnley we look good.
Yeah.
Against Leicester we look good.
Yeah.
I think it's less about just going, right, we're 3-5-2 now forever.
Yeah.
I think you've got to change it depending on the game.
I think so.
I think some games you need. We went to 3 in the middle, didn't we, against Southampton for a bit, and we did look marginally better for about 5 minutes.
We did,
but still,
I think it is horses for courses. I think
you have to change and be reactive to what the game is, what the game state is. It's less about just going, right, we're 3 at the back or we're 4 at the back, and that's it. I think you have to change.
Probably Dean Smith's biggest
weakness
is he's too brash. He backs himself to the hilt.
Yeah.
Fair play.
And I like that about him a little bit, but not to the detriment of Aston Villa.
I think he backs himself to outscore teams. I don't know. He's done it for Brentford and Warsaw before, but I think he's learning on the job. His first time in the Premier League, and he's finding it tough.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to learn and take a bit of medicine. I'm biggest Dean Smith fan going, but I think he needs to take a bit of medicine regarding that.
I agree. He can definitely improve. I'm not going to sit here and go doing an excellent job.
I need to improve. You need to improve.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. Yeah, of course I'm not going to sit here and say he's doing an excellent job, because he's not. We're 17th in the Premier League, and we're on course, if we carry on, to get relegated. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh yeah, fair play, Dean Smith, well done.
That's the first time he's told me he's worried as well. Because all season he hasn't been.
That's concerning as well.
He told me straight. I went, you worried, Dean? He goes, yeah, I have been for a while. It's a hard league. So he gave his poker face away there.
Yeah.
He really did. So I'm back. I hope he turns it round, man.
I want him to turn it. I'm absolutely fully behind him. Even if we go down, I said months ago I would still stick with him, because I don't.
100%.
We haven't found a manager who can get us out of the Championship yet. Dean Smith did that, and I would back him to do it again. I would say as well, when we had to win last year with those 10 games in a row, and I know it's a different level, we found something within us to do that. I'm just hoping that we've got 10, 11 games
He's a player for the lives. The lives depend on it.
We have to do something now. We're at critical stage of we have to perform or we're going down. So hopefully they can find that same energy again and put it right.
Yeah.
James says, there seems to be a fire in the belly of the management team and only a handful of the players. Why is it not rife throughout the whole team? Surely they would have seen the media call us another Fulham, and they should have been passionate about proving the media wrong. Don't really care about the media too much, but I understand the point. Proving people wrong should be something that they almost strive to do a little bit. Why is it that the coaching staff and Jack and maybe Tyrone Mings off the top of my head, they do look like they're fighting for the cause, and some players don't? Is that fair to say? Some players not up for a relegation scrap?
Maybe we spoke about it.
I'm only saying Grealish and Mings as examples, by the way. I'm not seeing them, but as captain and Tyrone Mings.
I think Smith and the staff are too softly with him, and now he's looking for a reaction. So I think hopefully we'll start to see that fire in the belly of all 11 and the whole squad.
Like it should be like that anyway. Why does it take to get to this critical stage before they start going, oh my God, we need to suddenly start playing? They've had 26 games or something? Stop. If you've got it in you, why are you only waiting until now?
Was it like the Leicester heroics at Villa Park, and after that was Bournemouth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you back down again.
Yeah. And then you play well against Tottenham.
Tottenham, you're up.
Still lose, but play
and
well.
You're down again.
And then down against Southampton.
Man City, you're up.
Absolutely down again after that. Yeah, it's frustrating. What do you think about the whole? Are some of these players up for a relegation scrap? Do they look it to you when you're there and you see 90 minutes?
Not on Saturday, no. Grealish tried his heart out, to be fair, but he had an off day.
By his standards, yeah. I think that's the title. Even Super Jack can't save us, is my thinking for the title.
That means we've gone. We ain't gone yet.
Save us so far.
So far, yeah. Brackets.
Yeah.
But they've got to prove it now. It's all up to them. We can't. We've called them out.
Yeah.
Smith's called them out.
They've got to react.
Come on then.
They can't shrink now. They've got 11 games to save Aston Villa. Have they got it in them?
Yeah.
We need to find out. I tweeted something like, I don't know what it said. We asked for, when Dean Smith's comments, I said, well, we asked for honesty from him, and I appreciate it, but sort it out now.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to go and sort it out. You've got to pull your finger out all here and sort it out somehow. I don't know how they do that, but they have to.
They need to win an away game, first of all. They haven't won an away since
is it
New Year's Day.
Leicester away is the next one, isn't it?
Yeah.
We beat Leicester once, and we drew away in the League Cup.
I think that's a tough game, tough ask. I
remember you saying when we did our predictions, you were like, Leicester away, we'll win that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Got it now.
I said Southampton, we'll win that. But the sooner they win away, I think that monkey's off the back again, because the monkey's been getting bigger. It's a crap analogy, that is. Bigger and bigger on the back.
Since Godzilla on their back of that.
Yeah, since New Year's Day. They beat Burnley. That was big statement, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Purslow running on the pitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Punching his head, punching his arm. Yes, love it, Dean. Congrats, well done, Dean.
He's gone too soon there. January 1st.
So I think it needs another statement, like win away from home, and once they win away, I think there'll be no stopping them.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
Yeah, we hope. We've talked about this a little bit. Smith refers to his players as training ground players. So surely, if they're doing it in training but not on the pitch, is he basically admitting that he's not good enough of a coach or tactician? I'm not sure that's what I get from that quote.
Normally,
I read that as
confidence on match days. I don't know.
Yeah, or that they look like good players in training and then shrivel a little bit on a match day. Is how I took it. Like, you can have your training matches, 5-a-side and 11-a-side.
I look good down goals at Perry Barn on a Thursday night.
But you couldn't do it at Villa Park on a Saturday.
Well, Sundays at Bloxwich and Sunday morning. I can't go missing some games. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's different though, isn't it? Being on it's a strange comment, I thought.
It's a comfortable environment. You body more, it's your place of work.
Playing against teammates, you're doing little exercises.
You go down at some areas and the wind's swirling around and the home fans don't like you.
Big pressure game. It's totally different, isn't
it? Like the opposition players on you like a rash.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game, so I think that's what he was alluding to.
This is from Stephen. It says, less a question, more an observation. There seems to be a real laid-back, relaxed feeling around the team and the club from what we see and hear. Training looks like a bit of a laugh. Allowing players to go on holiday seems to have backfired. Do you think they realise the severity of the situation? But bloody hope so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think the holidays backfired. I don't know. Some people might think that, but I think
we look fresh at Tottenham though.
They did,
so that's not
fresh.
An excuse.
I know, exactly.
You can't say if they look tired against Tottenham and tired against Southampton, you'd have gone, oh god, they've been away in Dubai drinking all weekend.
Training sessions been at a really high standard since the return. So
there was that video, wasn't there, last week? And
I watched that. I think it looked really sharp.
Yeah,
I think they look on it. Even Borgia Bastan whacking them in.
Easy in it at training.
Oh, there you go. I think that's what he meant. Training game players that they're doing it on body more, but match day is a different ball game.
It is.
You need to be up for it. I mean, it's like boxing. You can look good in sparring. I bet Wilder was knocking loads out in bloody sparring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comes up against Fury. You know what I mean? What happened?
Yeah.
He's taken to school, so it's similar. So
it does look relaxed, which I understand, but I feel like it should be like that. I think they're obviously going to understand that they've had poor games and that we're in a relegation scrap, but being all kind of miserable and mopey about it, that's not going to get the desired effect either. Yeah, they should be frustrated, and I was kind of glad that there wasn't any social media that I saw anyway, kind of, we'll go again next week.
Maybe was it this then? Was it did the management say to I've got someone lucky against Tottenham, you perform well, if you play like that again, we're going to we'll beat Southampton.
Complacency.
Yeah.
I think on Football Focus, I think it was Dion Dublin said something like, he looked at Villa's fixtures and they said, concerning games there, Leicester, Man United, Arsenal, etc. And he kind of said something like, I wouldn't be that worried about that run of games, because when you're playing the teams that around you, you feel the pressure, you get complacent, you think, oh well, we should win here, and you don't. When you're playing a Man United, and Arsenal, a Liverpool, you have to raise your game to be on it. So I understand his thinking.
I agree.
But we raised our game against Tottenham and still lost. So we're raising our game against the big sides and coming away with nothing. And then we're rolling over to Southampton and Bournemouth and still getting nothing. So as it stands, it doesn't matter what we do, we get 0 points. Which is a big concern. And we'll see us relegated. There's the synopsis.
That's it. I think that's.
We need to improve massively ASAP.
That's bang on, I think.
Final one. Again, this is a little bit more about other players up for it, etc., etc. The El Ghazi injury. I don't really know what's happened with this. There's a few people kind of slating him on social media, going, if he's gone off for that, don't wear the shirt again.
What was Grealish's and Mings' reaction about it as well?
I saw something on Twitter, again, I didn't see it. Apparently Grealish had a go at him to get off the pitch quicker or something like that, as in, you're injured, get off, get the change made, we need to go again, or whatever. I wasn't
had a corner at the time.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. So maybe it was that, but...
There was a picture of him going off, like holding his eye or something like that, and it's like, what's wrong with him? But it could be any number of things. I saw somebody say it was a finger in the eye and he had blurred vision, or it could have been a head thing and a concussion. Like,
Smith was asked, he said no idea.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
I would assume between the player and the medical staff, they're making a decision in the safety of the player, and that he's not fit to continue, make the change, and you have to,
on Friday,
you have to say that's enough.
He'll know Friday.
I can't imagine how guys are going to the doctor, get me off here, I'm having a mare, I don't want to play on. Surely that doesn't happen.
No. You'd like to think, no, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if that is the case, then
we'll see.
We shouldn't be playing for us again. But you've got to assume he's took a blow to the head, or again, I don't even see what's caused the injury.
A concussive blow, to be fair. It just looked like a face palm in the face. So with his finger got in.
So it's potentially a finger in the eye, and he's got double vision or something, and they're thinking, right, well, he can't play with that. Is the possible reason. But some people are going to look at it as going, he's had a slap in the face and he's gone off injured. That's not good enough. We don't know, and we can't sit here and comment, but the whole kind of are the players up for it is, you don't know, dear, because they're all individual people. But I don't see how footballers, you hear all this talk about, we love the game and they just love playing football, how you can then kind of separate a love for the game and going, actually, no, I don't quite fancy it today.
We do need more of the warrior mentality, though. I think.
Somebody asked about, and I'll try and find it quickly, about players like Whelan and Jedinak and people like that, even Terry. These players that, maybe not Terry, they said, here we go, much easier if I just read it. Whilst people like Hutton, Whelan and Jedinak weren't flair players, they're the sort of players that you need in a dogfight.
I think so.
We have passengers now. Thoughts? Louise, for example, just clear the ball. He knows that Rainer's upfield. Just a bit slow and a bit kind of, lax. Hutton's the interesting one there out of those three. The kind of...
He's the man you'd want in a relegation fight.
Didn't massively rate him as a footballer at all. I think Gilbert is a better footballer. I think El Mohammadi is a better footballer. Yeah. But he's got this court hero status because he's and just a passion for the club, up for the fight. And again, I'm not even a massive fan of Alan Hutton, but I'm not saying Alan Hutton needs to be starting in the Premier League for us, but that mentality of, okay, well, I might not be the most talented player, but I'm going to give it my all today. I'm going to give it everything. Yeah. You need 11 of that to stay in the Premier League, and I'm not sure we've got even 2 or 3 of those players.
We'll see. I don't think the foreign boys,
that's probably harsh to
through. Well, yeah, but the foreign boys, the new boys, your Nick Ambers, your Douglas Luiz's, they haven't probably experienced the Premier League relegation scrap before. They haven't. No. So,
but that shouldn't matter, though.
I know.
That shouldn't matter. It's football, isn't it? It's the same game.
Easy. I don't know.
Well, they better start performing then if they think it's easy, because at the moment it doesn't look easy.
I know, but they're going into games expecting a walk in the park.
Yeah. Where does that come from, though?
I don't know.
Is that an internal thing that they're thinking, like you said, we played well against so-and-so there, so just do that again and we'll be fine? Maybe that's the problem, that they think they're better than they are. They're kind of believing the hype a little bit.
So we need more Alan Hutton type players.
They need a reality check, because I can tell you now, they are not good enough, some of these players.
Well, we'll see. That can only prove us wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to staying up in May and sitting here and looking back on this podcast going, God, we were very miserable that day, and we were wrong to be, because now we've pulled it out of nowhere.
So,
that's what we've still got plenty of time. Just about 5 wins out of 11. It's getting close to almost a win in every 2, which we've not done.
Jeez.
A win in every 3 it was at one point. Remember, we said 1 win in 3. I think it was 16 games or something. We said if we win 1 in 3, we'll be all right, and that's close to being 1 in 2 now.
Jeez.
So it's desperate. It's desperate.
Yeah.
What do you think about Man City? We'll finish on that, because we're hitting 40 minutes and I feel like I've blown a fuse here. I'm a little bit like,
Man City on Sunday.
Man City, not specifically about the game, because we're going to have a Wembley podcast on Friday where we'll talk about the team news and all the rest of it. I'm just talking about I think Tony Daly might have mentioned this, or maybe I'll chuck him in as well. Maybe not, we'll see. He mentioned about if we win the final, we'll be galvanised and we might have a strong end to the season. He said if we lose the final, he doesn't think it will affect us.
No, I agree.
Do you agree?
I agree, yeah.
I don't.
I think
if we get battered by Man City,
it depends on the manner of it, doesn't it?
Say we lose 5-0.
5-0?
Yeah.
Then the alarm bells are out. Yeah, 5-0 is a...
If we lose 2-1 and we go down fighting, then yeah, fair enough, it's Man City.
That's what I'm about.
I don't care.
It depends on the manner of it.
Yeah, if we play well and lose, I will look at it and go, you know what, fair play, maybe there is something with these players. If we get battered, I will be very concerned.
Of course, yeah.
But on the other hand, I kind of feel like if you go and get battered to Man City, Watford did it last year, didn't they? Was it 6-0 in the final, FA Cup final? If that happens, that is the expectation. Most neutral fans will expect Man City to batter Villa on Sunday.
Of course, yeah.
So if it happens, I almost feel like what Tony Daly says is correct, that it's kind of, well, what did you expect? Kind of don't be too down about it. On the other hand, I look at it and think, how more low can it get than the Southampton and the Bournemouth games we've just had? Surely they're enough for concern.
It's the low, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're losing to Southampton in that manner is more concern to me than losing to Man City 5-0.
I think so, yeah.
But it's just another hit, isn't it? It's another punch to the face if we get battered on Sunday. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Maybe there'll be a bonus John McGinn playing or on the bench or something. Just anything to there. He's going to be rushed back, isn't he? Now we're getting desperate.
I'd have him in the changing room. Sure, yeah. Good character now.
On the coach telling jokes.
Yeah, but I'd have him in the group. I think he's good for the group.
Yeah, I would as well. Mate, is he around the group at home games now?
I'm going to ask that. I'll start to ask that. He did commentary for the Spurs game with ABTV, didn't he?
Nice. I don't know.
I'll ask him if I think he's around the dressing room.
He will be for the... Oh, God, that was loud. He will be for the final, I would have thought.
He'd have had a suit made, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So
would he? I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, we'll talk about the game against Man City specifically later in the week. We'll react to Dean Smith's press conference and stuff like that, and Pep's press conference. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah,
we'll come to that later in the week. Just a little kind of ad mini section for the listeners of what we're up to this week. As we've mentioned a few times, without fully explaining it, we've seen Tony Daly this morning. There'll be a little feature about his adventures outside of football and his fitness brand and supplement stuff at some point. That won't be on YouTube, but it will be on Twitter. We also spoke to him about Wembley, the game coming up. We also spoke to him about the 94 Cup final. Some nice stories from 94 which were really funny. Lovely bloke, gave us 25 minutes-ish of his time just chatting,
softly spoken,
chatting about football. Really
going
nice
to Wembley
bloke.
on Sundays a fan, isn't he?
Yeah, really nice.
He's in the Ireland quite a lot as well, apparently.
Yeah, he said he said that.
He don't mind it, yeah. He prefers it than doing the corporate.
Yeah. So really nice blokes. That'll be kind of either on YouTube or the podcast feed, or if you follow us on Twitter, you'll see it. We should give our Twitter a plug, actually. Mine is just at my name, at Dan Rolinson. Yours is at Preece Observer.
Yeah.
The links will be below on YouTube anyway, so we'll share all the stuff we're up to. Big Ron on Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
As we record
Cup of tea
it.
around Big Ron's.
Cup of tea around Big Ron's and a few stories. I'm sure he'll have many
loads to say.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
When's this podcast going out?
This will be tonight.
So get the viewers to ask any questions for Ron.
Yeah, good shout, good prep. Yeah, if you got a question for Big Ron in the next kind of 12 hours before we go and interview him, send us a tweet.
How much champagne did you drink in night before?
Yeah, he probably doesn't even know. Get a comment below or whatever, and we'll speak to those. Wednesday, we've got another bonus podcast where we'll be looking at some Wembley memories with a special guest. Not a footballer or anything, just before you get carried away. Thursday, we're down in London for a press event for the Carabao Cup final with some oh my God, I can't talk.
Come on.
Ex-footballers kind of roaming about that we'll try and speak to and grab some interviews with and kind of see what Carabao are offering for the Cup final. Some free tickets would be nice, Carabao,
London,
if you're listening.
Get the last trainer.
So yeah, night out in London for you and me.
On the trainer.
And then Friday, Dean Smith's presser before they go down to the big smoke themselves, and we'll come back here, record a podcast about the game specifically.
They'll be travelling down on the Friday, wouldn't they?
I would have thought so.
There's rumours they haven't got the Hilton this year.
Yes.
And they didn't have the Hilton for the Arsenal FA Cup final.
Or the playoff 2018, I think.
Didn't they?
I think when we've not had the Hilton, we've lost.
Gutting, oh God.
So that's a superstition.
Need to book that trend.
Yeah.
They love the Hilton, didn't they?
Yeah,
last year
maybe we should book out the Hilton in Villa's name. So here you go, you can have it.
Yeah.
The
Man City good boys have got it in there.
Yeah. There's videos and podcasts coming out for the entire week. We're working very hard to get stuff out. Almost like Rob Bishop stuff from a few weeks ago. He talked about the League Cup. There's loads of stuff coming. So if
you think right, man?
All right. So yeah, if you're enjoying our stuff, there's plenty of it coming up in the next few days. So yeah, done.
Keep the faith.
Yeah, just about. Give it another couple of games and we'll see where we are again. Try and have some kind of positivity on these podcasts, but it's difficult to sit here and go, yeah, everything's going perfectly, because it's not.
Everyone knows it's not.
But I'm not the type of person to sit here for 45 minutes now ranting and raving, because that's not really my style, but I have, and I'm feeling it a bit. I could do with a drink. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to this episode or watching this video on YouTube.
Nice one.
Keep an eye out for all our other stuff, and we'll see you again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that.
Yeah, see you at Wembley.
Nice one, yeah. See you at Wembley. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue and Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your thoughts and comments. We'll be back soon with another episode. Until then, up the Villa.